Hi, today we'll draw a lush, bright tree. You'll learn to create large watercolor washes and various textures using brush strokes, and most importantly, you'll enjoy the painting process. Let's begin by marking the precise center of the sheet of paper, ensuring the tree is perfectly positioned within the composition. I'll mark and check the position, pencil to sheet edge. That's exactly right. This is precisely where the very center of our composition is located. From this line, we'll start building our tree. I'll mark the top of the crown, leaving space to the edge of the paper, then the bottom of the crown and the trunk. The trunk will be small, but the crown will be voluminous. We won't be drawing a birch today, but an oak. If it were a birch, for example, the trunk would be twice as big. And right away, I sketch out with a simple shape how this tree will go here. That is, approximately. It's not exactly a ball, not a diamond, just something irregular like that. And here too, we can immediately outline that our trunk is narrow and widens toward the base. So, this is approximately what the trunk looks like. Done. The main forms are sketched out. The composition looks harmonious. There's space left at the top, sides, and bottom. That's important. Always remember composition rules. They're foolproof and will make your sketches look professional. Also, make sure to remember this marking technique. If you immediately begin to draw the final version, you might discover that the entire tree simply won't fit on the paper. Otherwise, you'd have to erase the finished work. So it's better to start by making small, easily adjustable marks. In both our basic and more advanced sketching courses, we consistently begin the construction process using vertical and horizontal layout lines. Now, we will divide the crown into several distinct segments. Essentially, these segments are individual groups of leaves clustered together on various branches. So here I have one big piece, here's another big piece, and here as well. I'm not detailing it too much, so there are gaps between segments through which branches and the trunk will be visible. For example, here the trunk will still be visible, and a branch will go off in that direction. Here, we'll add a branch or two. Up towards the crown of the tree. And we'll see some little branches here. How did we draw when we were kids? First, we would draw all the branches completely, and then we'd draw the crown. But that's not how it works. We don't see all the branches, as if the tree were cut in half. We see tiny details through our crown. That'll be more than enough. Now I take a liner pen, and I start outlining. Actually, there's no need to outline anything super detailed here. I'm currently working on creating a delicate outline for the crown segments. Watch closely. I'm not drawing every single leaf individually. Instead, I just outline them using these kinds of motions. I try to make my tree look lush and delicate. You don't need to spend too much time on this. Quickly outline the crown. I'm going to add a few lines inside now to define the volume, and that should be quite enough for this part. For the moment, I'll just sketch out the main trunk. I'll explain why. I don't know yet where or how the crown's beautiful color will spread, so I can't guarantee where the branches will be visible. That's why I'm not drawing the branches inside yet. We'll add them later, after we've painted everything with watercolor. Now I'm taking an eraser, removing all the extra pencil marks, and we'll start painting. Also, by the way, before we start painting, let's go ahead and draw a little clearing here. Now let's use some light, gentle strokes to create shapes that closely resemble blades of grass. This is where the tree is growing. So it's clear that it didn't just appear out of thin air. That's it. Now I take a brush and, don't be surprised, I'll start with blue. We'll add a bit of sky to make our picture look more cheerful. Very transparent, very watery, and not solid at all. I'm filling in our background around the tree. You can let the color extend slightly onto the crown's elements. In certain areas, I'm applying more pigment, while in others, I'm simply diluting it with clear water. I go over it like this, it will look good too. I make the edges uneven. I make the edge uneven like this, then rinse it. Now, let's gently introduce a soft, light blue sky hue around the edges of the tree, giving it a more natural and integrated look within the scene. And down below, we can subtly incorporate a bit of water, just enough to suggest a reflective surface or a small pond, adding depth to the overall composition. That's it. Now I wait for it to dry completely so that the tree doesn't bleed into the background or the sky. We wait until it's completely dry, and after that we'll start creating the crown. While it's still wet, you can also add a little more bright pigment in some places at the bottom like this. I'm doing all of this with blue paint, just using more water in some areas and more pigment in others. Now we wait for it to dry. Now let's start on the tree itself. You can take a light green right away if you have it on your palette, or you can mix it yourself. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon yellow to our blue. And right away we get a beautiful green. But at first we need a more salad-like green, so I'm adding more yellow to make the color really vibrant. More yellow. That's perfect. Let's start filling in the crown segments. Carefully draw the shapes. I'm filling in the plump shapes, trying not to color them in vertically or horizontally. I'm trying to create the effect of light foliage right away. I'm using a dabbing technique with the brush. And here's a very important point. We try to leave small gaps between the segments. The paint might bleed a little, but that's perfectly acceptable. But overall, don't forget to leave. These little holes, so there's space to add, for example, some branches. Now fill the crown segments with the light yellow-green color. So here I even went a little beyond the edges. I wanted to make the bottom a bit heavier. It's okay that we went outside the liner's boundaries. First of all, in sketching, you can do that, which is the coolest part. And secondly, we're going to have dark green here anyway, so it won't be visible. Now we take a darker color, green. You can use a dark green if you have one. You can also use the same blue, light blue, and yellow, just add more blue this time. And the color we get is richer, denser, green. And now I start adding this rich green to our canopy segments while they're still wet. But I try to add it mainly along the lower edges so I don't add much to the top. Let the paint spread out. If it doesn't flow anymore, that means it's dried a little. In that case, you need to wash your brush, blot it on a napkin, just a little, and help it along. Perhaps you could try adding a little bit of yellow, so that they blend smoothly into each other, rather than being sharply divided in half. We create soft transitions, not harsh lines. We add a dark tone to each leaf group, especially underneath. This casts a shadow on the branches. We have light and shadow. Our tree is not only volumetric, but each segment of the crown is as well. The dark green color will effectively conceal the initial outlines of the liner that we drew. If the edges of your painting have become too harsh or defined, simply rinse your brush thoroughly, gently squeeze out any excess water, then take some yellow paint and softly blend the colors together to create a smoother transition. This helps to ensure that all of your transitions look smooth. All right. The tree is already taking shape. It looks more expressive. It's not just a flat, solid green anymore. It has some volume in the crown. Let's add a bit more tone. All right. I am intentionally leaving some gaps and blank spaces here. So that the branches are visible. We're making the color even darker. Watercolor lightens as it dries, so don't be afraid of brightness. However, let's not make it too much like gouache. The most important thing is to maintain that light, airy feel and avoid overworking the piece. Like this. All right, I'm leaving the tree to dry now. It already looks three-dimensional. Let's take a more slender brush. Mine is synthetic, size 5. And now we'll paint our brown branches. For this, I'll use ready-made brown burnt umber. This is the color I have. It's truly bright and remarkably expressive, making a strong impression. First, you can add it to the trunk. Make sure the green doesn't run too much either. In the same way, I'll leave the left side of the trunk lighter. I'll add more water, and on the right, make it darker. And under the crown, I also make the color darker. How do you make brown darker? I usually add a drop of purple to the brown. And the color immediately gets richer. There we go. Now our trunk also looks three-dimensional. It's darker on the right and under the tree's crown. Here it's a little lighter. Next, we fill in the veins with little branches. If you're afraid to paint them right away with a brush, let me remind you that you can sketch them out with a pencil first. For example, right here, we'll have a branch that splits off and gets thicker. And from it, another branch as well. Here too, some little piece can branch off like this. Then, in theory, I move up a bit. And here I'll have another visible piece, a dark part of the trunk. And here, a branch might go this way, and over here as well. Here, some little branch might be visible, like this, just like drawing letters. Basically, we space out these branches so it's clear that there are such little details here. Over here somewhere, there's a big branch, and here a narrower, thinner one, like this. Here's a single little branch. You can have them spread out like this. That's it. This is more than enough to make our tree look more realistic. Again, I take our brown. You can use a darker shade, that is, add a touch of purple to it. Right here, the trunk is definitely dark. Because here it's in the shade of the crown. Here it continues. Like this. And here, just a couple of branches. So, for example, like this and like this. There we go. Like this. And we fill it in. Great. We've made the tree look fuller, and now we can add even more foliage. I'm taking a more saturated green, and if you have something like emerald, that's perfect. If not, then just do everything the same way. Lemon yellow, a little bit of blue. And make sure the green turns out denser, a bit darker. Let's continue drawing. Now we're going to add some texture to this, which is a nice touch. We're creating the foliage here. You can also extend the strokes outwards with small touches to avoid a smooth tree contour. Our oak consists of foliage, so feel free to let these leaf-like strokes go beyond the boundaries, creating a fuller, lusher green effect. I'll add a bit more color. And to finish our composition with the same greenish color, I'll draw some blades of grass. I try to paint them from the bottom up, that way they turn out thin. I'll show you what I mean now. If you draw the blades of grass from the bottom up, they'll have a sharp tip. But if, on the contrary, you draw from the top down, then the tops of the blades of grass will turn out blunt. And that will look unnatural. So relax your hand. By the way, you can use a thinner brush. And this is how we create the blades of grass where our tree is hiding. You can also add a bit more yellow, by the way. Here's... That's it. This is the sketch we've got. We've finished. Quick and easy, yet as voluminous and vibrant as possible. We've figured out how to make the background, and we've explored different types of brush strokes. And I think we've achieved an excellent result. A very important point that I want you to feel is enjoy the process. Don't be afraid if something goes wrong somewhere, if it goes beyond the lines, or if it doesn't turn out perfectly or evenly. That's normal.